Here's something else I saw today on Elon Musk's website. I guess the head of the Chicago Teachers Union is proposing that they be awarded a $50 billion contract.
Because you know what the headlines are going to say once, people who have a scientific calculator get done with it. They're going to say these are great proposals and can't
A scientific calculator?
nobody pay for it. And CTU with all of this, that, and the other. And who's going to pay for it, Stacey? Stop.
Yeah, how you going to pay for it? You guys remember you guys remember that one? How you going to pay for it? Where is it? Here we go.
How you going to pay for it? How you going to pay for it? How you going to pay for it?
Because you know what the headlines are going to say once, people who have a scientific calculator get done with it. They're going to say these are great proposals and can't nobody pay for it. And CTU with all of this, that, and the other. And who's going to pay for it?
Yeah, who's going to pay for it?
Stacey, stop asking that question.
Yeah, stop asking how you're going to come up with $50 billion for a new public school teachers union contract.
Ask another question.
Don't worry how it's going to get paid for. And keep in mind, Chicago already has. I every time I read about Chicago, they have like a lot of financing problems. Like the residents and businesses in Chicago are already taxed to oblivion. But we're talking about the Chicago Teachers Union. I don't know if the abysmal results, the abysmal quality of education, I don't know if it's to blame on the Chicago Teachers Union. Maybe partly, maybe none, maybe some. Not really sure. But I do know that Chicago public schools already, at least according to data from Wikipedia, I pulled out my scientific calculator earlier. If we just look at data by Wikipedia, which they usually source this stuff, their budget is already just shy of $7 billion a year. And you divide that by the students, $6.92 billion as of 2021. And I think they usually cite like the original source, like Chicago Public Schools. Yeah, here we go. We got primary sources right here. What more can you ask for? They got 323,000 students. Maybe I should be using that. Maybe I should not be relying on Wikipedia information after all. Operating budget is 8.4. Oh, so I was actually undercounting earlier. Okay, let's do this. $8.49 billion. And how many students? Go back up. Divide that by 323,251. Chicago's public schools spends $26,000 per student per year on public education. $26,000 per student per year on public education. And yet, I every year I see new reports coming out of talking about Chicago public schools and how there are multiple schools in the Chicago system. 55 schools report no proficiency in math or reading. Very serious. Chicago Democrat sounds the alarms. Illinois State Senator Willie Preston says city must examine COVID-era policies. There are 55 schools in Chicago where for reading it's 30 schools, not one single student. There are 30 schools in Chicago where not one single student is proficient in math. And there are other schools that have zero students proficient in reading. For reading, it's 30 schools. Okay. In 53 schools, they are not proficient at grade level math. For reading, it's 30. This is what $26,000 per student per year gets you in the city of Chicago. Then I guess we could go to U.S. News and World Report. Like, what are their graduation rates like? 76%. 76% What are the numbers here, though? So, they're still relying on old numbers. So it's hard to even, you got to take this with a grain of salt because I just looked at the number. $26,000 and your kid will have less than a 14% chance at being proficient in math and a less than 16% chance, or excuse me, there will be a roughly an 85% chance that your kid will not be proficient in reading or writing. And then there's going to be a 25% chance that they don't graduate. Lone Dissenter says that face when you spend months, hold on. I got to correct you. Not months, years. I think I've been reading it for a year and a half at this point. And, they always need a little more. And how are you going to pay for it? Well, why don't you stop asking that question? This is a basic need, okay? Apparently $26,000. It's not enough for Chicago teachers, and it's not enough to make sure that even 50% of the kids are going to be proficient in reading, writing, or math.
You absolutely suck!
Anyway, I don't know, guys. Maybe public education in America has been a massive disaster, and maybe it's time people start talking about it and thinking of solutions other than just need a little more. That's what George Carlin likes to say about God and churches. They always need a little more. That's the same thing can be said about socialist institutions. Need solutions other than just raise taxes and give these schools more money. If any institution in America is less deserving of more money, it's the public school system. My goodness.